Yeah.
So you don't want to go back?
Huh?
Okay. What's up, everybody? You're welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! Yes, 2020, finally. If you're in 2019, I really don't know what you're doing there, but I'm already in 2020. Today is first. Yep. And we're already here. Yeah, today we have a special guest in the building. No, don't worry, it's not that kind of special guest. This is the legit person. Okay, we have Mr. Ik Amazu in the building. Today, he's going to be talking about career choices. He's going to be giving us strategies on how to tackle our career problems. Mr. Ike, how far now?
Hey,
How everything now?
compliments of the season.
Same to you, my brother.
Yeah.
How was your trip back to Nigeria?
Trip was good. So far, so good. You know,
How's your stay too?
Nigeria is always the best 2 weeks of my year, like I tell everybody. So it doesn't matter where I go in the world. Coming back to Nigeria is always the best 2 weeks of the year. So,
That's nice.
I'm enjoying.
So what's the best thing you've had since you came back? Like, what's your best experience in Nigeria?
Just being around family. You know, just being. We get so busy, you know, in our everyday lives that we don't see the people we grew up with on a day-to-day basis. So just being around them at the end of the year, celebrating, the season is and seeing old friends as well is one of the best. Is what drives me, which is why I make this trip every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go back?
Huh?
Okay. Would you go back? Would you stay if you had the opportunity?
Next question.
Okay. You came to talk to us about career choices. We're really honored to have you here, and we would love to hear what you have to say.
Okay. Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the honor of expressing how I feel about career choices. Well, first and foremost, growing up, as you guys may know, a lot of the way we were brought up was, hey, you have to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Exactly.
Your parents tell you what to be. Your parents tell you what direction to go. What you're going to be. Your parents basically say you're going to be a doctor, or you're going to be a lawyer, or you're going to be an architect. And that's what drives you. That's what you think about. So whoever you are as a human being doesn't drive you to your career choice. You just end up becoming whatever it is your parents told. So if your parents said, hey, you must be a lawyer, once you get into school, once you get to college, that's what you go sign up for. Yeah, you go sign up for law. If you don't sign up for law, they won't pay your school fees. So that's typically what happens. So a lot of times we end up in careers that we're really not passionate about. We're not happy. We're not passionate about. Some of it might make us money, but we're just doing it just because it's what we were driven into. Now, don't get me wrong, it worked for the generation before, because these career paths that they're telling us are proven to be successful career paths. So more times than not, you are going to be successful as an engineer, as a lawyer, as a doctor. There's a high rate of success, but the $1 million question is that who you are as a person? Is that what you want to be, right? One of the reasons why we're stagnant here as a country, as a nation, is because we have a lot of people in the same sector. We go out to innovate. We don't really go out and do exactly or be exactly who we want to be as a nation. Now, and a lot of it is circumstance. You can't blame your parents for saying, hey, go be a doctor, or go be go be an architect, or go be a lawyer. Yeah. You can't really blame them for doing that, because they know that's what's going to bring the money back to the table. So in Nigeria, some of us don't have the luxury of saying, hey, I want to go be a freelance writer when I grow up. Or I want to go be a painter when I grow up. Ik Amazu, what? You can do that as hobbies. Yeah, they'll slap you first before you. But in the States, or in the West, when you get into college, some of the, even though our parents tell us exactly what to do or which direction to go to. When you get into college, there's so many avenues that allow you to arrive at what you want to be or which direction you want to go.
Okay.
So first things first is they tell you to take general education classes, which comprise of, could be math, English, science, arts. So that you take all these general education classes that are requirements, which kind of show you if you were going in to be a lawyer and you excelled in your general education biology class, you say, maybe I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. Maybe I want to, be a scientist. Maybe I want to maybe I want to go into medicine. Or if you take your theater general education class, you say, and you get an A in your theater general education class, you say, oh wow, I came here to be an engineer, but I'm so good at acting that I want to be an actor. So that's what drives you to become an actor or a sports nutritionist. But my tips on choosing a career before you even start. So maybe in Nigeria we don't have the chance to do any of these things, but my tips on choosing a career is first and foremost is the love. Number one is the love and passion you have for your career. Most people who love and are passionate about their career are able to get up every day and go into work every day for the next 30 years of their lives without having an issue. That's always the number one thing that drives you towards your career. You wake up happy every day. You wake up feeling like you want to go to work, like you want to go do, what it is that you are
passionate about.
Exactly. Some people, I have friends who call me and complain when you call them at 7 a.m. in the morning. They tell you, man, I have to go into work again, right? So they're doing this only for the money. They're doing this because that's what
pay the bills.
That's what pays the bills.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they really don't love what they do. So imagine how much. Imagine how much more they would excel in their positions if they actually loved what they do. Not that they're slacking at their position, but imagine,
efficiency.
Exactly.
They will be more efficient.
Exactly.
Okay.
Efficient. You can take your company to bigger levels. You can, pitch ideas that somebody who doesn't care wouldn't normally pitch. A lot of times you go to work and you're an employee. They tell you what to do, you do it.
You do it.
Yeah, they tell you. They tell you what to. They tell you. They give you an assignment, you do it. And you're watching the clock. You can't wait till you go home. But if you love what you do and you're passionate about what you do, you bring ideas. You bring up new ideas. You say, "Hey, boss."
Exactly.
You say, "Hey, boss, these are. How about we try this? Or how about we try this? Something that could take your company to a new level." What that also allows you to do is it also helps with the fourth point, which I'm going to talk about, which is entrepreneurship. What that also allows you to do is allows you to break away. So if you're passionate about what you're doing, you've learned as an apprentice through your job, you can now break away and go form your own business in that sector because you are passionate about it, right? So the first and foremost, when you're going to go pick a career, you have to be passionate about what you do. 100% passion and 100% love that career path that you're going down. That's what's going to help drive you for the next 30 years of your life before retirement. So that's the first one. That's one way of picking a career. The second way of picking a career, I think, is if you're in service, if you're somebody who likes serving. I like serving people. I like helping people. That's the second way of picking a career. So you're not going down the path of, hey, I love this career, so I'm going in that path. I just love helping people. I love serving people, so I'm going to choose a career path that has to do with
serving people.
Okay. So do you have it in you to get up and go enlist in the military?
No.
You don't, right? So the guy who has it in him to go and enlist in the military is providing service. Like that's his call. Like he's out there to serve. You know, do you have it in you to become a nurse? You know, do you have it in you to become a teacher? You know, you're serving, you're going out there to serve because you like helping little kids, you like helping people who are sick. So you can go in any one of those directions because your call is to serve. So that narrows kind of the career that narrows the career paths that you can go into. So if you're a person who likes helping others, maybe you probably don't want to be an engineer. You know, maybe you probably don't want to be a lawyer. That's not your call. You could be, you know, you might be smart enough to be, but that's not your call. Your call is to go and serve. The third one, which is one that's personal to me, is I'm an engineer by profession, but if you ask me if I loved or I was passionate about my job, I'd tell you not really. You know, I like what I do. What I do is very interesting, but that's not my love. That's not what I'm passionate about, right? Okay. But what drives me at my job is the fact that I'm making a difference. The fact that as in my industry, I get to work in equipment that protects the world, or that protects my environment. Exactly. So I'm making a difference. I'm working on equipment, or I'm servicing equipment, or I'm building equipment that is made to protect you from destruction. So that's what drives me. You know, it also protects our troops as well. Whatever I'm doing is protecting our troops, because these guys gave their lives to servitude. So my job is now to come in and maintain the equipment that they use. So they're not out there, they're not out there blind. So what drives me every day I go to work is the fact that I'm able to make a difference. So when you're looking at careers, if that's who you are, you want to think about, when you're looking at careers, if that's who you are as a person, if you're a difference maker, you look for something, you look for a career where you're able to make a difference in other people's lives or in the society around you. So whether it be what I'm doing right now as an engineer, or whether it be politics, whether it be running as a politician, where you can fix the issues in your society, which is what politicians are. I don't know about Nigeria, but mostly politicians, people who go into politics or they typically run on fixing the issues around them. That's what making a difference is. You're making a difference in society, and you're making a difference in other people's lives.
I have a question, yeah?
Sure.
You said something about, you gave an instance with yourself, and you said something about you're an engineer, you're doing your job. Yeah. It's not like it's your passion, but then you like it because of you're making a difference in the society. Right. Okay, now, if for instance somebody has the same situation, but then the difference in the society that he's making is actually kind of destructive, what do you advise the person to do? If for instance the person is getting good pay, and then let's say the person works in an oil and gas industry where there's lots of pollution every day, and the person knows that the difference that he's making in the society is actually negative. It's creating lots of pollution, for instance maybe in the aquatic areas, killing the water, the lives in the sea and all. If the person knows that, okay, I'm in this field, I'm making the money, it's not my passion, and difference that's being made through me, the environment, is negative, what do you advise the person to do? Do you advise the person to quit the job if the person has a family and all?
So I would never advise anybody to quit a job that is putting food on the table. I would never do that.
What if the hustle is not
before you quit a job that you don't like, you always have to have something else lined up. Okay. That's always been my number one rule, especially if you have a family. Some people have taken risks. They've said, okay, you know what, I'll quit my job. I'll sleep in the car for a month, while I implement my next idea, or while I pursue my passion or pursue my love. That's a way to go. That's one way to go. You can do that, but it's harder to do that when you have a family. You know, I have a friend who, did. I have a friend who did that recently. He took a chance. He had a good paying job, a great paying job for Nigerian standards. Who, quit his job because he didn't like certain things that were going on
In the job.
at work. So he quit. But now he's he's home with no job, no plan. There was no plan before he quit. So now he's been home for like a year, and he's now looking to get back into something, or get back into a lesser position than he had, before he decided to quit. So before you make a move like that, you have to, make sure you have other things lined up, or something else to jump into. It's never advisable to just get up and quit your job, especially if you had a family. So one of the first questions I asked him, or one of the questions you ask somebody like that who decides to quit a job is, what if you had 2 kids? Would you make that decision? Right? So going back to your question, if you decide to quit a job because you feel like something is wrong, you always have to have a plan lined up so you can continue moving. Life is all about hustling, so you can continue moving. If you're going to quit this job, what's the plan? I understand that you hate what you're doing and you hate, but what's the plan?
Yeah.
Right? That's my advice. A lot of people would say, hey, if you feel like you're doing wrong, just quit. When it comes to making a difference, I don't think that oil and gas guy was in it because he was making a difference. Making a difference is actually making a difference. What are you doing to make a difference? Why I chose it because I'm making a difference, right? He's in his line of work. He can't be in his line of work because he's making a difference. He has to actually pick. He has to actually decide what's driving him in the oil and gas industry. What is driving you? Why are you a petroleum engineer? Why? Is it the money? A lot of people I know who are petroleum engineers, the money drives them.
Yeah.
Money drives them. So when it comes to pollution, that doesn't matter to them. But if you finally see the light and say, hey, I'm polluting the environment, I don't want to be in this position. I don't want to be in this position anymore. Well, guess what? Find something else that you're passionate about that you can walk right into. Finally, the last advice or the last tip I have on picking a career is problem solving. Most entrepreneurs are problem solvers. You want to be able to solve a problem. Most of the huge companies we have today are, they were innovated off of just solving a problem. Google had a search engine. Amazon. Amazon was pushing books when they started, and then they decided to become more widespread. Microsoft, obviously everyone uses Microsoft. The Microsoft tools out there. Apple, handheld devices. So most of the huge companies today stemmed off of problem solving, and most entrepreneurs are problem solvers. Some entrepreneurs have multiple facets of business that have nothing to do with each other, so they can't be passionate about. You can't be passionate about if I have an industry that makes phones and I have an industry that makes chairs, right? I can't be passionate about. It's hard to say I love making phones or I love making chairs or I love innovating. It's just solving a problem. I just like solving problems. So I came up with this concept in this area. I solved the problem. Now I'm gonna go solve another problem. So another tip, another tip to picking your career is basically solving a problem. Say how can I solve a problem? If you want to be an entrepreneur, that's one of the first things because an entrepreneur is a career. It's a career choice. So you ask yourself, what problems exist in my society that I can solve? What can I innovate to solve those problems? Innovation could come through production and through service.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 tips. The first one being, love and passion. Second one being service. Third one being, making a difference. And the fourth one being problem solving. So those are, I feel like my 4 tips to, picking your career.
Whoa, that's good. Like, thank you for everything.
Thank you for having
really
me.
Good. That's
Thank
really
you
good.
for having
really
me.
appreciate you for coming. But you didn't answer my question though.
Yes.
I said, are you staying back in Nigeria? I don't want to answer my question.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, man. Safe trip back to US, okay?
Thank you.
And your work. Good luck, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Compliments.
Okay, now, you could be.
Yeah.